Brock Lesnar is the new WWE Champion. At day one, guys, Grandmaster Flex, I just want to take a moment to really absorb how this all came about. Okay, so it was announced before the main card started during the pre-show when the pre-show aired for day one that Roman Reigns had tested positive for COVID-19, and as a result, Brock Lesnar was going to be involved in the fatal four-way match for the WWE Championship. So then it became a fatal five-way match. Okay, and we know that the reason Brock got was put in the match is because he's quote unquote a free agent. So the match itself did not last that long. It actually was at least about maybe 7 to 10 minutes, maybe. It really wasn't that long, the main event. Um, right off the break, Kevin and Seth tried to attack Brock Lesnar. They went on that attack with Brock. Brock hit him with German suplexes. Um, they still managed to beat him down. Um, you know, Biggie, he got some foots in there. They actually never even fought each other not once. They went after everybody. Went after Brock. They went after Bobby. They went after Biggie. Bobby managed to spear Brock through the barricade, which was pretty looked pretty cool. They actually hit Kevin and Seth actually hit DDTs on Brock through on the steel cage, on the steel steps. Biggie managed to put Bobby Lashley through the announce table. Kevin and Seth were going to try to do it, but Biggie managed to get out of that. So then, I mean, not Biggie, Bobby managed to get out of this. So then Biggie put him through the table. So it was a lot of fast pack action pretty quickly. Finishers was hit fast. Like I said, Brock hit a bunch of German suplexes. He actually, um, I think, let's see what happened here. Everything kind of happened so quick. Kevin actually hit the pop-up power bomb to Big E, but Big E kicked out, and um, Brock eventually hit the F5 on everybody. But before he actually he hit it on Kevin, he hit it on Seth, and then he got speared by uh, Bobby, and it looked as if Bobby was going to win the championship at this point because he locked Brock in the Lashley lock, and then out comes Big E. He breaks it. He hits the big end on Bobby. Then he tries to hit the big end on Brock, but then Brock blocks it and gets out of it and hits him with the F5, and that's it. But essentially, like I said, Kevin and Seth, they worked really well together throughout this match. Basically, beating everybody down. They kept they hit they hit the steps on Bobby Lashley too. They kept trying to keep everybody down, try to keep Brock down, try to keep Biggie down, even though Biggie managed to fight him off. Um, but in the end, it was Brock Lesnar who came standing tall. And I think it really surprised a lot of fans because it got to a point where, because people wanted to see um, Brock and Lashley for so long. They actually was on Lashley's side. They were actually cheering Lashley. Me personally, I just kind of knew the moment they added Brock, the moment they added Lashley, that Big E was kind of doomed. I just knew at that point I didn't see him retaining. Had it just been a triple threat match or just a single match like it was originally supposed to be before Kevin got involved and stuff, then I think Big E probably would have retained. But once they added those two, I just knew it wasn't going to happen. But once they added Brock, it was inevitable that it wasn't going to happen. And Brock, comes and he wins the championship. Wasn't even supposed to be in the match. Man, so here's the thing, right? So I hope Roman gets well. First of all, this virus has been pretty strong lately with this new strain going on here. But I will admit, Brock has been entertaining since he's come back. This is probably the most fun he's ever had. He's been looking really good since he's come back. I like his new look with with the keeping his beard out with his hair being like how it is. He's been a good statue in his, been a good statue for so long. So I like the new look. He's been really entertaining on the mic. But the thing is, this is just really. I kind of feel like it's a slap in the face in a way. I mean, yes, Roman tested positive for COVID-19, but did you really have to not only add Brock in the match, but then also have him win the belt of everyone? And I think, what makes this even worse is it kind of brings the question is what happens now when it comes to the Universal title? Is he still going to chase after the belt when Roman recovers? And the thing is, for the most part, when someone catches COVID, they're supposed to quarantine for 14 days, 2 weeks. Seth actually had it right before day one, so I was even surprised he was even able to make it because he had COVID. He tested positive before day one, but somehow he was still able to be on the pay-per-view. So I think it's still supposed to be 14 days. Maybe they made it different if you're vaccinated. I don't know, but I'm not going to get into all that. But I just kind of find it weird, that this is the direction because before Roman, no one expected him to test positive, especially when they had him when he was one of the guys that actually had isolate. When they had the live events, they had him, they had Becky, they had Bianca, they had quite a few people isolate from the shows. So that's one reason why I didn't think he would have still caught it. But the thing I don't get is that they kept saying that it was going to be this big finish to happen between him and Brock. And more than likely, it was either going to be one or two things. Either Paul was going to side with Brock or Paul was going to side with Roman again. It was going to be a swerve. One of the two things was going to happen. So if your plan was not to really have Brock win the Universal belt, because more than likely he was not going to win that belt from Roman. I don't think they were going to have one. They were going to have some type of weird finish where it went to like a draw and then the belt got relinquished and then maybe they were going to have somebody was going to have to fight for it, or Roman was just going to retain again in some screwy fact. It was just going to be something they were going to do that was going to catch people off guard because it was like, it's just this big finish. It's this big finish they were going to do for the show. They kept piping it up. So, and mind you, may I add, this was the only title change tonight. Day one, this was the only title change, and it happens to be Brock Lesnar. Usos retained the SmackDown Tag Team titles in the opener with New Day. Really good match, really amazing match between those two. The Usos actually retained. RK Bro actually retained against the Street Profits. Another really good match, and I like the finish with the assist RKO Riddle gave for Randy Orton. Really good match there. Actually, I should mention the Usos. They used like a kind of like a 3D finish to the New Day to win that match. I thought that was pretty cool. Becky retained against Liv Morgan with the Raw Women's Championship. So every other title match, champions retained. Main event, Brock Lesnar wins the belt. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Because I kind of just wonder, you can't really change what happened. Like I said, I just hope Roman gets better, especially considering he did have leukemia. So I don't know how his body's going to take this. But it's kind of just a weird situation because, if you're Big E, you're kind of in this hole where he was probably, when they added Lashley, I feel like this. If it wasn't for Roman tested positive, they most likely probably would have had Lashley win the belt back. That's my guess. Just from the way that the match ended, and then the way you can kind of see Lashley looking at Lesnar as if they're going to have another showdown, which, based off this showcase, hey, I'm all for it. Based off the way they made Lashley look here, even though I was kind of surprised that Brock didn't get any offense on Lashley, but the fact that, Lashley not only speared him to a barricade, managed to spear him again in the ring, and Brock, I don't know if he kicked out or somebody stopped the pin. I think he kicked out, but then he put him in a Lashley lock. It actually looked like Lesnar, maybe he was going to pass out, maybe, or he was dropping to one knee before Big E came and stopped it. And I was actually surprised that even though, Big E couldn't put the big in on Brock, he actually did get a little offense on Brock, so that was pretty cool. But like I said, it's just kind of one of those things where, I feel like if they had the match with Brock and Roman, I think Lashley probably came out as champ. It's just any way you slice it, from the way that they have been building to day one, it just didn't seem like the tension was just no longer on Big E. It just got to a point where you could kind of tell that it was going to be a new champ one way or another. It would have been nice to see Big E retain, but I could just kind of tell from the way they were like building it that it was somebody who was going to win the belt. And my thought was that, had it stayed a single match between Big E and Seth, Big E was going to retain. But once they added Kevin in there, and then once they added Lashley, I was thinking, oh, Bobby's probably going to win. Then when they added Brock at the last minute, I was like, this is going to be interesting. And then you have Brock win. So, I don't know. It's just one of those situations where you kind of got you scratching your head, because you think about how he basically squashed Kobe Kingston when he was champ in about 6 seconds, 8 seconds, something like that, on the first episode of SmackDown being on Fox back in 2019 in October. And then you look at this, he beats another member of the NBA that's champ, except this time it's in a Fatal 5-way match. So, I don't know. It's interesting to see how this is going to go down, especially since Bobby was staring at him after he won the belt, like he was really looking Brock down. So maybe there's something there. But Brock is your new WWE champion, and I thought from top to bottom the show was all right. It was okay for what it was. Edge, The Miz, Edge beat The Miz. Looks like they're headed towards a mixed tag match with Beth versus Maurice and The Miz. Hopefully not at WrestleMania, because that would be too long of a build, but more than likely probably at the Rumble or something. But yeah, pretty solid show. One of my Mr. Drew beating Madcap Moss. Match that could have easily been on SmackDown or so, but it was all right. Just a regular TV match. Then he got beat up at backstage afterwards, so that feud's gonna continue. So yeah, yeah. I would just say, guys, yeah, that's pretty much it. Quick little review of the matches and the Brock situation. I thought Liv looked really good against Becky, and kind of wonder where she go from here, since she just lost with Becky again, and this time it wasn't dirty. So yeah, best part about that match is when she hit the sunset flip. It was like a sunset flip power bomb. Somewhat she kind of hit. It looked really good. But yeah, solid match. Yeah, so sign off with Mr. Flex. Like, comment, and subscribe.